What's going on, you guys? This is Aaron from Departures Capital, and welcome to the video. In this video, we had the pleasure of interviewing Joshua Barch, who is the CEO of Mydecine Innovations. Mydecine Innovations is a publicly traded life sciences parent company dedicated to the development and production of adaptive pathway medicine, natural health products, and digital health solutions. It's a very exciting time for the psychedelic sector, so we'll let Joshua take over, tell you guys all about this. This is the interview that I've been talking about after our overview that we dropped just earlier on the channel, so check that out as well if you do want to know more about the company. And let's get straight into this. Last but not least, if you do support me, the channel, and all the videos, then I kindly ask for two things, and that first thing, of course, is to explode that like button, along with if you are a new viewer to the channel. Haven't had a chance to subscribe yet, but I appreciate constant steady updates in the markets. You want to learn more about investing, we appreciate a steady flow of new and exciting companies just like Mydecine. And of course, don't forget to cash that subscribe button and ring the market bell for notifications. Let's get straight into this awesome interview. What's going on, guys? This is Aaron with Departures Capital. We're here with Josh Barch, CEO of Mydecine Innovations. How are you doing today, Josh?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Really excited to talk about your company. You know, it's a really exciting time for the sector. So Mydecine Innovations is a life sciences parent company dedicated to the development and production of adaptive pathway medicine, natural health products, and digital health solutions stemming from fungi. Can you give us a brief overview of the company and the different areas of your business?
Absolutely. So Mydecine Innovations Group is a parent company that operates three separate, what we like to call divisions. They're all independently operational, but definitely work together synergistically. So two were done by way of acquisitions, and then one is an in-house company that was born with the founders of Mydecine. So Mydecine Health Sciences is our IP division. That's headed by our CSO, Rob Roscoe. Rob Roscoe was formerly the head of genetics of Canopy Growth, and before that, he was the head of genetics and ran a very large IP portfolio for a company by the name of EBU, which was acquired for $429 million in November of 2018 by Canopy Growth. So subsequently, Rob went on to be the CSO and head of genetics for Canopy Growth. That IP company and the IP division under Mydecine Health Sciences operates in two separate locations, one of which is in Denver, Colorado, which is my home base and the company's home base, out of a 7,500 square foot state-of-the-art specialty mycology lab, which is the first of its kind. The lab was previously an FDA-approved bacterial cultures lab that's run by one of our scientific advisor, Dr. M.S. Reddy, who's a 7-time Nobel Prize nominee and a world-renowned scientist that's done some very interesting stuff in the IP realm as well. That lab currently is focused on developing unique IP around the functional mushrooms and different compounds and ways to commercialize those compounds in a much more efficient way, very similar to what was done at EBU. So there's a ton of crossover between the cannabis work that was done at EBU and how that's applicable to the mycology space. So additionally, there is a DEA application on that location, which will give us the ability to dive deeper into the psychedelic mushrooms on site there as well. Currently, Denver is the first city in the United States that fully decriminalized psilocybin, so we could, under a gray area, operate however we like to operate under federal licenses. Additionally, we have a full partnership with API, which is it's Advanced Pharmaceutical Innovations. It's a nonprofit arm that operates in conjunction with several major universities. In our case, it's the University of Alberta. So API, and through our exclusive partnership with them, we have a full, very robust coverage under a Health Canada's dealer's license, which gives us the ability to deep dive into these different various substances. In our case, we're focused on psilocybin and psilocin in both the natural derived form as well as synthetic. That license took about 11 years for them to do the full amendments. Additionally, that license is also attached to a multi-$100 million lab that also has a full CGMP certified pharmaceutical manufacturing lab. So we are the only company on the planet, to put it in layman's terms, that can go from A to Z on these various psychedelic substances in the raw form. So we can do full cultivation on site through their ag department, and then take that and do full extraction and proprietary extraction methods, which we're in the process of patenting now, and then take that, go through the full R&D phase, and then go to full commercialization in a CGMP certified pharmaceutical format, and then export that out either for sale globally and or to support either ours or various other clinicals. Our second division is a company that we acquired a couple months ago by the name of NeuroPharm. So NeuroPharm is comprised of upper echelon, both current and former military constituencies that come from the mental health departments of various militaries, including the EU military, the Canadian Armed Forces, and then, of course, the United States military as well. For instance, our CMO at NeuroPharm is an individual by the name of Dr. Rakesh Jetley. Currently, Dr. Rakesh Jetley is the head of psychiatry for the entire Canadian Armed Forces, as well as NATO. And our line of military constituents on that upper echelon, like Dr. Jetley, is very extensive as well. Lastly, a company that we're very excited about that we recently did an acquisition on is Mindleap. So Mindleap Health is the first company in the world to connect telehealth with mental health mood monitoring as well as emotional tracking. So basically what that does is it has predictive measures through AI that can predict through your daily regimen and your daily operations what your current state of mental health is, and then connect you with the proper mental health specialist to better improve your mental state of mind, etc. So as that pertains to psychedelics, which what we are focused on, we're focused on giving the tools needed for the aftercare to be successful. So when you undergo a psychedelic treatment of various types, sometimes the most positive effects take place sometimes weeks or months after the actual treatment. But currently, there's no viable solution for that. So sometimes you have to travel to foreign countries where the legal atmosphere is conducive to actually administering these different psychedelic treatments, and then you travel home and there's really no viable way for the follow-up care to make sure that whatever your goals was during those treatments has longevity and is able to translate into actual life successes. So we developed that application.
Very exciting story. So, what sets you guys apart from other psychedelic companies?
I think there's a number of things that set us apart, but the two that really stick out are our team and then our capabilities. So starting with our team, like I touched on before, we have Rob Roscoe and Damon Michaels, which were previously executive management for very, very successful companies in the cannabis space by way of EBU, which developed a very unique IP portfolio, about 48 patents that was subsequently acquired for a very large sum by Canopy Growth because of that IP that they developed. And then additionally, you look at our constituency from around the world, from the scientific side of things and the medical side of things, and I really think that our team is unmatched. We really have a very diverse team from a multifunctional background that has all had their own successes in various different verticals. So you couple that together and put it in such an explosive marketplace with what we're in, and we feel like it's a recipe for success. Second is our capabilities and our global reach under our Health Canada licenses. So you're starting to see a number of companies that are applying for these various Health Canada dealers licenses. However, they're attached to very small labs with really no capabilities as it pertains to drug discovery, CGMP pharmaceutical manufacturing capability, analytical chemistry capabilities, etc. So we have a unique partnership where our license is attached to a very robust lab with full capabilities from A to Z that cost several $100 million invested over the years that we're able to bypass by our unique partnership. So obviously that's very exciting for us.
Definitely. So, Mydecine's telehealth app Mindleap is officially launching tomorrow. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Sure. So Mindleap is, again, the first app that is taking your touch points on your phone through AI and then converting that to be able to track your mood and monitor your overall mental health through your daily routine, and then take that, calculate a score, and then be able to track that score and connect you with the correct mental health specialist that we feel could benefit you most. So right now, Mindleap has over 30 unique mental health specialists ranging from different backgrounds and different expertise that are currently engaging with individuals that could use their services in a very intuitive, above board, open-ended way that we feel really the sky is the limit of where that can go. Additionally, something really interesting about Mindleap is we aggregate for the first time ever what we like to call mental health tools that are ancillary to actually speaking with a mental health specialist. So things like yoga, breath work, exercise apps, cooking apps, and things that aid your mental health in being the best that it possibly can be. We take the top apps, aggregate them under one roof, and then give people access to all these different things that they would normally not have as a part of their daily routine under one roof for a singleized monthly subscription rate. So for that, it's very interesting, and it's solving a large problem to really give people an alternative way to improve their mental health.
Amazing. So, the company has several clinical trials coming up. Can you tell us a little bit about those?
Absolutely. So through Neuropharm and our constituency there, we were able to obtain the world's first approval for clinical trials incorporating psilocybin coupled with very proprietary therapy methodologies. So our head PI overall on all of our different test sites is Dr. Rakesh Jetley, which again is the head of psychiatry currently for the entire Canadian Armed Forces as well as NATO. Also chairs a number of NATO research foundations and has been very instrumental and involved in alternative solutions for PTSD. So he would absolutely agree with myself and our team that psilocybin, I think, is the most promising potential solution for PTSD for the people that need it the most. So for us, it's something that we're very passionate about. So our first clinical site that was approved is Leiden University and University Hospital. That's in conjunction with the Royal Dutch Army and a number of constituencies out there. That first clinical is going to be utilizing a synthetic form of a single molecule psilocybin, much like Compass. We're then expanding that to include multiple test sites around the globe at major universities that will be announced here soon throughout Canada as well as the United States. The second phase of that clinical is going to incorporate our proprietary blend, which is patented, which is a combination of MDMA and psilocybin, as well as a single molecule naturally derived psilocybin next to the synthetic. There's a large open question that is the naturally derived psilocybin more effective than synthetic or vice versa. So we're going to be the first that's actually going to solve that problem in conjunction with looking to be able to solve the huge epidemic that's going on with PTSD and mental health decline and the people that we feel need it the most, which is our frontline workers as well as military and veterans.
Definitely. It's amazing what you guys are doing. So in August, Mydecine launched the world's first natural source CGMP psilocybin for global research, sales, and distribution enterprise. What's the significance of this milestone?
So like I said, currently the only thing that's available for commercial sale, obviously you'd still have to have coverage under some sort of a DEA license or a Health Canada license in order to conduct any research. However, the only thing that's available right now and has been utilized in any clinicals or testing is a synthetic form of psilocybin. We feel that there's a lot more going on in naturally derived psilocybin. Much like what we were able to do in our past lives in cannabis, which is to discover the unique compounds that are also contained within these various naturally derived substances, which either work synergistically and or are working against psilocybin and how the ultimate outcome of that pertains. So, for instance, if there's other tryptamines in a naturally derived or fruiting body of mushrooms, when you eat that strain of mushrooms, sometimes you have more anxiety or sometimes you have ulterior effects that maybe you're not looking for. So we're isolating those compounds in the naturally derived naturally derived psilocybin form and then starting to find out what those are, how they look. Initially, we're starting with an original, just a single molecule naturally derived psilocybin and then going to be running those in clinicals next to the synthetic and see which one's more effective.
Very, very interesting. So let's talk a little bit about management again. Once, you already spoke about a few people, but who are the key members and what do they bring to the table?
Sure. So myself as CEO, I bring a background of successful track records and startups. I've been involved in some very successful stories and be fortunate enough to do so. Our COO is Damon Michaels. He cut his teeth really in the cannabis industry a number of years ago. He ended up being the general manager of Ebu and took that company through its acquisition. Was very instrumental in building that company when it was eventually acquired by Canopy Growth. Additionally, our CSO is Robert Roscoe. Robert Roscoe was very instrumental in the IP development at EBU, which again was subsequently acquired. And then you go to the downline of our different advisors and different people that are working in the other divisions, including Neuropharm. Neuropharm has their COO and CMO is Dr. Rakesh Jetley. The advisors consist of individuals like Dr. Rachel Ayuda at NYU and Mount Sinai Hospital. Also, Dr. Carl Castro, who currently is the head of the research of the NATO Research Group on Alternative Mental Health Solutions. He's also a professor at USC. Dr. Denton Hoyer, who's been doing some very unique molecule design for us. He was previously an executive at Pfizer and Novartis, as well as the head of the drug discovery division at Yale University, was recently retired. And we were able to cherry pick him, so he's been working with us full time. And the downline really continues. And then lastly, some people that we're really excited about in the tech space is our team at Mindleap. So Mindleap is developed by a group of young entrepreneurs that are incredibly hungry and have all already had several successes in the tech world, and then are translating that now into Mindleap and really filling some interesting goals. They bring an innovative solution. I think they bring innovative thinking, and they really bring that progressive thinking that a lot of people are bypassing. So we're very excited about them as well.
Sounds like you guys got quite the team. So what should investors look out for Mydecine next, or what's the one thing you're super excited about?
Sure. So I think that our IP pathway is very defined and has the potential to be very successful. You're seeing a lot of people filing patents, but when you really dive into these patents, there's really no value behind them. They're just really doing paper pushing, different paper pushing exercises, which we don't see any value in. So our IP strategy is very defined and very strong, and that we think is very long, has very long-term goals. Additionally, our path through the PTSD world and getting that successfully translated into viable commercial solutions, I think has a huge opportunity and a huge potential. Given that we have such close ties to these various military constituencies, there's a lot of opportunities to fast track those through military constituencies and different programs that they offer if you have viable solutions to solve what they see as the biggest problem, which is obviously the mental health of their veterans as well as their current active military personnel. So those are things that are directly on the horizon. Obviously, Mindleap Health has a very strong revenue potential. And there's a number of other things that will be announced here very shortly that are very large partnerships that we're leveraging our ability to provide the API, the active pharmaceutical ingredient, at a fraction of the cost compared to our competitors, leveraging that to step into some of these late stage phase 2 and phase 3 studies that we feel show a lot of potential. So keep your eyes out, and those will be coming out here shortly.
Very excited. We'll have to have you back on for those updates. So what's the best way for investors to get in touch with you or learn more about the company?
Absolutely. So if you visit our website, which is Mydecine.com, and that's MYDECINE.com, there's a full investor presentation on there that can deep dive into much more detail than I'm able to provide to you guys in such a short amount of time. But also there's a contact on there that contacts you and connects you directly with our IR department for any specific questions that you might have. We take our shareholders, we hold them very close to our hearts, and we appreciate them, and we'll make sure to communicate with them very, very openly and rapidly.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Josh, and I look forward to having you back on for some more updates.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
All right, guys, that wraps up the video. Drop those comments below and let me know what you think. And always remember, Departures Capital is for information, education, and entertainment purposes only. Don't buy or sell a stock because you heard it on here. Buy or sell a stock because you've done your research, you've done your thorough due diligence, and you're making your own personal investment decisions for yourself. This video is not financial advice. We'll see you guys in our next video.